Hey y'all. Welcome to ZLS number 9. Let me pause my thing over there. uh, it's Friday, y'all. We made it. We made it through the week. Uh, Starting out the stream, I'm just going to, like we always do, go through what we did the last time. So last time we focused on inspecting our depth graph to make better modular design. So we had built the Auth module, so a front and back end version of our Auth modules, and we were trying to use them across a couple of apps. So if we do NX depth graph to show our depth graph, we can kind of take a look at that. Let me bring this over. Oops, I'm all cattywampus today. Let me switch. And there we go. And oops, there we go. There, that's better. All right, so here's our depth graph. Let's make sure people can see it. That's good. So as you can see, it's kind of starting to get to the point where it's a little bit unmanageable. I did so just before the stream, I did mark an implicit dependency. Prior, we just had with our end-to-end applications up here. I might have a hard time seeing that. But yeah, with our end-to-end applications up here, before we just had an implicit dependency on the web client. I actually went in off stream just now to touch that up so that there's also an implicit dependency on the API. Let's take a look at how I did that real quick, just to demonstrate. So our nx.json file right here, this kind of includes information about our workspace. So you can see the changes that were made. If let's just compare here real quick. So you can see before, kind of when we spun up the when we ran the schematic to generate an Angular app here, it kind of spit out just the initial web client initially. But so what we did is we took this JSON file and manually added the API to it as well. So Yalin, am I saying that right? Yalin011 is asking, what does implicit dependency mean? So normally when we look at our dependency graph, let me just target one of these. Let me target the web client one. There. So for most of these connections here, most of these dependencies that aren't marked with an implicit, it's being determined based on like the import statements of those files. So there's nothing about our about like this nx.json file that's saying, well, there's a connection between this web client app and this front end posts lib. That's not being like set in stone in any JSON file. The source of truth for that is our source code, actually. So that's how most of these lines are drawn. But however, for this end-to-end project, for example, we don't have a way of like importing that web client. So we can't like depend on the source code to determine this dependency. So we can, in here, we can kind of use these implicit dependencies to actually mark a dependency that we know is there but can't really be determined by source code. And so that's helpful for doing these things like where our end-to-end app needs to actually depend on the web client app. Or let's actually just target the web client E to E. There we should be able to see. And we should be able to see. So now there's an implicit dependency on both the web client and the API itself. So yeah, that's some of the stuff we did yesterday. Let's go ahead and make a new file for today. 8/7/2020. And let's just do these side by side real quick. Yeah, no problem. Any questions? Feel free to ask. I'm hoping, you know, we could learn together. So feel free to ask about anything. I want to make this more conversational. So what we're going to try to do today, main thing I want to try to do today is get some handle on testing. I got caught up with some work today, so I'm a little underprepared to where I normally am. But we've been kicking testing down the road quite a bit with this project, and I wanted to make sure we at least got something in here. So I've been mentioning for a lot of the testing stuff. So I've mentioned several times on the stream I hate unit tests. And it's not just because I hate writing them, it's because I don't see... So the value of unit tests as I see it is a unit test is extremely good at making a developer understand very well what they developed and make sure it's working as they intended it to work. But I think so I don't think they're completely useless. I think that's the value. The developer is going to spend some time verifying that what they wrote is working as intended, or at least as they think it's supposed to work. But it's in terms of, when I think of testing, the main thing I think of is confidence. Oh, Lars, what's up, man? Thanks for coming by. Yeah, we're talking about testing finally. So yeah, like I was saying, the big thing you want from your testing is confidence, and I don't get much confidence from writing unit tests or knowing I have them. Confidence that my app's going to work, that my deploys aren't going to fall on their face. That's the kind of confidence I'm talking about. So when I'm thinking of that, I think if I have a robust end-to-end testing, I'm kind of in that world where I feel like I have some confidence over my stuff. So we're going to try to do that. And I think what we'll do... oh, Yvonne. How's it going? I don't know you, but I'm Zach. Nice to meet you. All right, Yvonne, are you in the in-depth stuff too, or do you know Lars some other way? I'll ask that, and then there's the delay, I know. But yeah. So looking at our workspace.json. Other way, cool. Well, I will pry too much. But yeah, so I want to set up. So right now, when we sort of did the when we ran the schematics to build these apps initially, when we built our Angular web client, it kind of made two apps for us, right? It made the end-to-end app and the web client app. These two up here, and then we with a separate schematic, we ran the one to generate a node app. And yeah, so that's kind of how these things got made. But if we look at the way our web client E2E app is set up, we can see we have our builder, which we're using Cypress, and it's got the target here is right here, E2E, and the options are set up, but the big thing to look at here is this dev server target, right? So we have it set up so that it's going to wait for the web client serve to run, and then it's going to sort of start up Cypress. So I think I've been thinking about different ways we could do this. Really, we want to. So this builder itself is going to handle starting up the web client app and then starting up the Cypress, and then kind of running things. But that's not sufficient for what we want. We actually want to make sure the API is running too as soon as we run our builder. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add another architect target here. And so I think I'll call this full stack E to E. And let's take, so we're going to use mainly this. Well, let's see. I actually want to do, I'm going to do it this way. I'm actually going to add to the web client. So we have this here, our builder, architect build, serve. Okay, so here's serve. And we want to add, I'm going to add one over here called serve with API. Oh, cool. Yvonne is a tech speaker. What do you speak about, Yvonne? Is it JavaScript and Angular stuff or some other stuff? So we're going to serve with API over here, and we're going to use the builder. I'm going to have to pull up the docs for this. Let me get a new window here. I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to move this over here. Going to make this readable. So I'm just going to go to nx.dev, and I think the name of the builder is called run many. Yeah. So I'm just going to look at the docs for this. So plug the docs. The docs are actually really good, I think. So give them a look. Ben did this really cool search stuff using what's it called? Algolia. So or Algolia, is that right? Yeah. Oh, Angular at ngconf. Oh, cool. I must have missed that talk. Was that the like the ngconf unplugged one, Yvonne? I was having a baby at that time, or my partner was having a baby at that time, so I missed most of those talks regrettably. But yeah. So entry components. That's like I used to always have to do that when I use modals, right? Like you had to set that as an entry component so that you could just like call open on them. So now I noticed, I think in the CDK you don't have to register them as entry components anymore. Like it just kind of knows. I never really fully understood why you needed to set them as entry components to start with. So I'd be interested if you want to put in chat there why you even needed that from the start. But yeah, it may be too complicated. But yeah. So to the task at hand here, for my builder, I want to use the at narwhal. I think this would be in Workspace, right? At narwhal Workspace. How does this get set up? Target is test, projects is that. I think we can do it like this. We're going to find out. Workspace run -many. And then we're going to set as our target. What's that target test doing? Is there some examples on how to use this in the thing? No, it's not. Let's see. So I think target is test. Let me take a look at how I was doing this in one of my snippet things here. Pull this up and let's look at the Workspace Json over here. Sorry, I'm going into cheat mode now because I'm getting stumped. I thought I had a handle on this, but clearly I don't. All right, serve with API. Oh, okay, we can do that way. Okay, so I'm not going to use run many here. Oh, hey Brandon, what's up? You just caught me on the struggle bus again, buddy. The struggle is real. Okay, so I'm not going to use the run many one. I'm actually going to use something exposed by the Angular dev kit. So we're going to do like so. And we're going to give it options. I don't know. Maybe we'll experiment with this. But let me get this in because I know this is going to work. And inside of our options, we'll give it some targets. And inside of here, we'll have our first target be a target, give it a name. And so we're going to call this, what do we call this? R circle web client serve. Whoops. And then for the other target, it's going to be R circle API serve. I think that's right. Let's see. I need a comma here. Right. So what this is doing, the Angular dev kit, all of builder is going to take some array of targets here, and it's going to run all of them. So kind of all at the same time. Yeah, so I actually just learned about this from Jason from Narwhal. I think he may be lurking in chat right now. We just came from talking about this. So he told me about there's an all of builder. There's also a concat builder. Concat may be a little bit closer to what we want but just because of the way it's implemented. If we use concat, it's actually going to stop the serve after it finishes. Oh no, I exposed you, Jason. You can go back to lurking if you want, but yeah, if you want to chat, feel free. We'd love to hear you. Jason's frozen pandas right there. But yeah, you've been discovered. Eventually I need to get some emotes on here. That would be fun. But okay, so the idea now, by running all of and giving it these targets, we're saying, okay, go to the web clients project and run the serve target, and then go to the R circle API and run the serve target. And so these things are going to run in parallel to each other, and yeah, let's just see that right now. So I think I may need to, nope, that's fine. So I'll kill the depth graph serve for now, but now I'm going to run npx nx, and then we're going to do run, and then we're going to do, so this is still, the serve with API is still on the web client project. So we're going to do R circle web client, and then a colon and then the target, which we called serve with API. And this should work. And that didn't work. It's because I didn't save. So saving problems. Anyways, all right. So we're going to serve. This should work. There we go. Oh, we got a problem here. What's the problem here? Oh, did we not fix this last time? I thought we should have fixed this last time. Let's fix that. But so you'll see the Angular project didn't complete because we had this one error here. Let me actually get rid of those. So I'm hitting Options Shift O to clean up my imports, and that's going to get rid of, it's going to alphabetize all my imports and also get rid of the unused ones. So it's super helpful. And that's like a VS Code thing. But we can see that in parallel, it kind of started trying to serve the Angular app and also trying to serve our API. And then they just kind of, like, Angular finished up here, but it had like this error. And then the API kind of finished down here, and we can see it's listening. But I'm going to hit save now on my app component TS file. And we can see the Angular one's going to go out and start rebuilding now. And it's just going, and there you go. And if I change up something, I'm going to go to like my main for the API, the R circle API. And I'm going to change this to say hi Twitch, and I hit save there. So the API just restarted there, and you can see our message got changed. So it's kind of just like setting it and forgetting it, which is helpful for two reasons. Like, oh shoot, thanks. Let me move it over. Let's switch these over. Move this. Good call, Lars. I was noticing that on my last stream when I was rewatching it. Like, it was hiding parts of the depth graph I was talking about. Thanks for calling it out. Yeah. Jack's the one writing the book, I think, on React. I actually haven't even touched React, so I've been meaning to check it out when he's ready. But yeah. So we can see here this terminal here is just kind of like going out for us, which is great. Like, most of the times, it's very rare I want to serve one without the other. Yeah, that's right. Jack from Narwhal. So he's like our main React guy right now. But yeah, where was I going with this? Yeah, most of the time we don't want to serve one without the other. So this is just kind of a nice thing to have, but it's doubly nice so we can use it for our end-to-end testing stuff. So let's take a look at that. We got our E2E. Yeah, Narwhal is working on. Well, we're not just doing Angular stuff. We're doing Angular and React and Node stuff these days. So that's kind of the direction. Oh, it's a JSON. I don't know, JSON. I thought JSON was more Angular, but I don't know. Jason can answer it, I guess. Cool. So for our dev target here, we just want to switch this up, serve with API. And we're going to want to give it a base URL. When it's just the Angular app that we're running, our Cypress builder here, the Narwhal Cypress builder, is just going to kind of know which port it's on, or what the base URL is rather. But without that, we kind of need to give it to it here. Localhost 4200. Oh, and this might not work because of what we were seeing. Jason and I were just looking at this beforehand, but we may go in and touch some of this stuff real quick. So yeah, let's see if this works. I think we should see this fail in the same way Jason and I were seeing it fail just before the stream. So I'm going to do, instead of this, I'm just going to do nx e2e. Can y'all see that? Yeah, y'all can see. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Now E2E R circle E2E. Can't find. Did I? Oh yeah. This has got to be the name. So let's get rid of that. There we go. Boop, boop, boop. So I believe the way the CLI works, like E2E and serve and build and test and lint are all like magic words, so you can use kind of this syntax. Let's see. Oh, there goes Cypress. Cypress is starting. Cypress is opening. Cypress open somewhere else. There goes Cypress. I think this is probably going to fail. Yeah, we couldn't visit it. So Jason and I were actually like looking at some of the source code for this builder. Let me make that a little bit smaller and make it full screen. I think we'll just do what we had been looking at there. So I think we want to go to, we got to like do some deep splunking into our node modules here. But what we're going to want to do is we're going to jump into the Narwhal stuff and the Cypress and the builder and the impl. So this is like the code that runs when you run the impl. And I think if I recall, we're just going to want to change this one line here real quick to pipe on the operator. What did we call that? operators 1. Oops. Boom dot map. We'll take some output here. So this output is going to be the base URL. Let's just call it actually the base URL. And we're actually going to do this so that if we have an options.base URL, it's going to override it. Otherwise, we're going to just do the base URL. I think that will fix this so we can actually run Cypress. So we went real deep, right there real quick, but it's just to kind of fix this so we can hopefully see it running. But yeah, let's see. Let's see if we can do this. Oh, my address was already in use because we killed some stuff. Let's cancel this. pkill node. Oops, not what I wanted. pkill. All right, now we'll try running it. Uh-oh. Conditional. What didn't it like about this? I'm worried that this is caching, making this stuff happen. It might be, it might not. Let's see. So we're going to let me just try to serve the R circle API. Serve. There you go, rather. No, I don't know what that was. I have had some things in the past where when I was working on a builder, that it kind of messed things up. Okay. Huh. In use 333. Let me check this out. Looking at processes. Do I have something? Do I have a node process running right now? Let me see. I don't. I don't know why that's happening that way. Already in use. So this would go through, and this would run the E2E, which would run serve with API, which is going over there. If I look at serve with API, that is just doing our all of serving the client, serving the API. Let me try something here. Let's say cacheable operations. Just get rid of ETE for now. I'm worried that's causing this to happen. Like the only code we changed was on the builder, so the distributed cache, I would think, assumes that nothing changed, so it should just be the same thing. But I thought, I don't know. I thought we'd get some sort of message that was coming from cache here. But if I hit it now it's running. I think that must have been it. I think it must have been, we ran the E2E target on our project. It had some output, and it got written to our local cache. And then I went and changed something, but the only changes I made was in the builder code, which is like deep in our node modules. And I think that should have like invalidated our cache ideally, but we must not have things set up to invalidate that way. The access to it. I know, knock yourself out. You can take my 5 free hours on the project. So yeah. But yeah, so I think this worked. I want to add the watch. So this repo is available on GitHub too, so y'all can check out the source code there. You can regrettably find my access token there too. But yeah, I don't know. There's probably a better way I could do that. have to ask about that. Maybe I need to like invalidate that access token. I don't think there's much people could abuse this for. Like they could kind of get my 5 free hours, but you could also just write your own thing and or make your own project and get your 5 free hours. So cool. Okay. It's weird. It's like when I cancel things that that node process is not getting removed. Let me try this. Let's just, for now, we'll just pkill our node. We'll run the E2E. Yeah, we could do that. Or just set these things via environment variables. But if I want people to just be able to use this like as an open source thing, and we all take advantage of the shared distributed cache, like they wouldn't be able to, right? I don't think so. Sort of in a secret file, yeah. Yeah, we could do that, and just if people wanted to contribute, they'd have to contact me and get those. I think that might be manageable, but yeah. So here we're calling visit, and so at this point, I think things are just set up. Like this is good. The API is running. I think we're hitting like the back end. It's hard to tell. I guess we don't know until we actually try to write something that's going to try to do it. But let's look at our code here. So we're going to, let me actually put Cypress. Let me bring it up. And I'm going to put it over on this window. Over here. And where's the Cypress? Chrome. Move it over here too. So we're going to have like this on this side of the screen and this on this side of the screen. There you go. So yeah, we have things running. Our test is obviously failing because we haven't even touched that yet, but let's look at that. So we've got our web client E2E, and here's our spec file. So this is what, if we look over here at Cypress, this is what is being trying to run. We're trying to get the H1, and we're trying to make sure it contains this. So if I target that and get the H1, so side.get H1, we should instead say, well, this is saying login. Let's get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of that. All right, so we can grab the text here. So it should just say our circle. So let's just do that. Make sure we're actually getting our circle. Right? And now we can see, we kind of missed it there, but as soon as I saved that, the test got reran and now things are coming up green. So now we can see H1 contains our circle. That's correct. Cool. So now let's just try to fill out our stuff. So we're pretty much just going to automate what we've been doing before when I was like testing things to see if things were working. This is I think it's much better in several ways. This is the way we tend to think about testing anyways. I think like writing unit tests is a very different beast, I think. It's like we test things, but we don't test things the way that we really use them. I think we can kind of miss things that way, and we're testing for other stuff. So we'll just say here side.get and username. So that'll get this username element, the input form. I think we can just like type, right? Is that a thing? Type, and we'll do Zach, and let's save that and make sure that's working. So we can see here, so we went ahead and typed that out, Zach, and then we're just going to put the same thing over here, get password. It's going to get our password, and it's going to type password, and then side.get, do we call that submit? We might not call that submit. I'll have to make sure. and then we'll click it. So the idea is we're going to write Zach, we're going to write password, and then we should click submit, but that's not called submit. What is this called? Get button. Let's not do that. There's like, let me Google for it quick. There's like some way to do Cypress based on its text context. Let's see if I can Google for that real quick. Cypress get button by its text. Oh, this might actually not work very well. Let's do this instead. I'm going to go to the source code actually here for the app, so this is for the login component HTML. So I could get this like an ID of submit, but there's going to be other submit buttons on the screen potentially at this time too. So I'm going to do like this. I'm going to call this E2E tag equals login submit, and I think is Cypress going to just know that that's the better selector? I don't know. Let's see if we can target it. No, it's still just trying to say button. But I think over here, if we go into the app spec here, we can say .get and just use like the, I don't even know what you'd call this, but E2E tag equals login submit. I think this will work. Let's see if that works. Click. All right, so you can see, and we can kind of like step back in time as these goes through. But the idea is we're going to type out Zach, we're going to type out the password, and then we're going to click submit, and then we should see all this stuff happen. So when by the time we're logged in, after we're logged in, we should be able to select this label, get H2. Actually, okay, that works. I guess that works. So then sci.get h2 dot contains Zach DeRose. So we'll kind of make sure that after this point that my name is in there, right? So cool. So we're kind of doing that now, and we can see if I mistyped this or for some reason it was wrong, this will fail now. So it did contain Zach1 DeRose, contain Zach DeRose. So that's cool. I really want to at some point get to the point where we're seeing this Mongo database as part of our builder when we run this, but there's just some things in there that I haven't figured out how I want to do them yet. Because we also want to do some stuff where so right now if we go to our Mongo file, we're always connecting to this database name right here, for example. That should be configurable, like that should be determined by an environment variable. The same with this this Mongo address. We really need to have like credentials for this for the database too, so we can lock it down when we're in like a open environment when we're out there. So eventually we'll want to like do that, but for now we'll just know we've got this Zach DeRose user that if we have this name and this password, we should be able to hit them. All right, and then so now we can do something even going in further a little bit. So let's name this. For this test, I should be able to log in and create a post, right? So let's go over here. We've already confirmed that we're kind of logged in now. If we target this post, we'll call it create post. We could say sci.get create post dot type. This is a test post, and then we're going to do sci.get, and we'll add let's go to our login component in the HTML for that. We'll add this is the log. Oh, I actually want the create post component, and we're going to add to this button an end-to-end tag equals create post button. Oops. me actually grab all of this there. Copy and go back to our spec file here. We're going to say .get. This needs to be in brackets. So this will get us that button after we've typed, and we're going to hit click. So this will create a test post for us, and then we'll side.get, and we're going to want to get this right here, this pre. Well, I guess that works for now. Get pre dot contains, and then it should contain this is a test post. So somewhere in that pre we should see this. I think this should all work. This is not great actually, because you'll see each time we run this. So we ran it here. So this is a test post. We can see that content down here. And we're verifying to make sure this is true. But we'll see if we run it again, what's actually going to happen is we have a couple of these now where we have this as a test post. So we got to make that better. Ideally, we'd make that better by kind of like clearing out our database when we're done. So like on a clean out. Well, after everything's over, then we can clean it out, our database, and kind of leave us in the same state we came in. That's another motivation for wanting to have that database name be configurable. But yeah, like in terms of what we've done right now, we can kind of set up this test for our circle, and now we can like go down and make some changes to the auth lib, and see them sort of make sure our use cases are still running. So we're able to log in. This test kind of makes sure we can log in, and we can create a new post, and that post is then inside of our list, inside of our content list. Again, like once we build that out a bit more, that we'll have to change that a little bit probably to make sure like things are going in the right place they're supposed to. But for the UI we have right now, I think this is decent. So let's do another one here. So log in and create a post. Well, let's just continue on this one. After this, we should get side.get. If we do log out, does this have a? Yeah, that's not helpful. Let's add something to that logout. I think that's on the app component. HTML. Oh, this is the to-dos app. Where's the our circle one? There you go. So on this, where'd that logout button go? There it is. All right. So here we'll also add the ETE tag. Call this the logout button. Copy that, and we can use it over here. Put in our brackets. Dot click, and then we should be able to see the login form again. So if we click that, oops, let's get out of inspect and log it out, and then get. Just want to see the form is there. I'm trying to hit that form without getting the rest of it. Form.untouched. Let's just do form. We'll just copy that and move it over here. So we should say we should be able to get the form at that point. Let me actually inspect that. Could we do a better selector here? Elements. Drop it down. Inspect here. Yeah, I should just be able to say make sure the rform login is there. Grab that. Let's try that. See if that works. So we can see, yeah, I don't know if y'all saw that with the refresh rate here, but actually is walking through and doing these things each one at a time. And if filling out, submitting. They were logged in. It's going to create the post. Make this a little bit bigger. Oh, it's getting smaller as I get bigger. That's weird. Okay, oh, there we go. Yeah, it's not great either. Let's do this. There you go. Let's just rerun it. So there you go. Came out, and we have the login form. So, and yeah, so that's an end-to-end test. I think that works pretty. I think that works pretty well. I think that gives us more confidence. I can see you blink. I don't think Cypress is faster than that. Yeah. Well, there you go. So yeah, we've got a test here. We've got some more time here. So another thing I wanted to take a look at is, so as I mentioned, unit tests are very good at making sure a developer has created what they intended to create. And we had talked before about like RxJS and how RxJS is actually really tricky in terms of making sure it's doing exactly what you expect it to do. So let's take a look at some of that stuff. Maybe we can add some tests for that. Let's go to the login or the auth module we wrote. Let's start looking at that. And we're going to go into, so this is the front end auth. And I want to look at the effects here, right? So the idea here with each of these NgRx effects is we're kind of creating an observable of an action, right? And so we want to make sure, based on what's coming in, that these observables are doing what we expect them to. So let's do that. Let's make a little spec file for this with the time we've got left. Auth effects .spec.ts. There we go. And we're going to describe, so this is our auth effects. Let's call it Auth NgRx Effects. Right. And we are going to describe, let's have this open over to the side here. So we are going to describe the login effect. Login. Boom. All right. So we also need to set up this test bed. So how do we want to do that? We're going to want to, let me take a look at some other project here. Just kind of blanking on how we normally set this up. Let's see if I can go to effects. Okay, so well, let's just do it. Let's say testbed dot, what is it? Well, let's open the NgRx docs. Maybe that'll give us a good jumping point. grx.io. Let's go into testing, docs, effects, testing. Okay, this is kind of what we want. Just kind of set things up like this. And then if we look at the effects, set up your actions this way. Test scheduler. Oh yeah, let's grab this here. So we're going to use the test scheduler from RxJS. This will let us kind of just run through some of the extra tests here. Scheduler before each. Cool. And then Oops, what happened to that Chrome window? NgRx testing. Let's move this over to the side real quick. So we're going to want to, let's just grab our test bed here like so. Boom. Provide test module to. So what I really want is to see the actions. So that's going, okay, so that's going to give us the actions we're injecting. But how do we have it set up? Actions equals hot. How do we initialize that class, the effects class? Effects. Test scheduler dot run. Yes. Effects. Where's it declaring this effects? Effects. Dot search. I guess it's just getting it out of the test bed, probably. Yeah, I'm kind of blanking on this. Sorry, y'all. Let's see. So we have our test scheduler. We have our test bed. Usually the test bed is in a before each hook. Yeah, that's right. So we'll do that here for each. I think it goes like this, right, Lars? And then, right, we're going to have to import this from NgRx testing. Import, boom, from NgRx/effects/testing. There you go. Actions is like so. Within the describe functions. Yeah, so I want to say, well, really, so this is like my actions here. Really, I don't want to define these actions up top here. Oh, I see. So we're going to declare our actions here. Providers is going to do this, but inside of this login, let's say we have a test here. So we want to say user submits login and it works. That's what we'll call our first test. But we'll say here our actions. Well, actually, we want to use the test scheduler. Test scheduler.run. And we're going to have some hot and some cold here. I'm going to run it. Does that go? Let me check the docs again. Does that go if I use the test scheduler? Scheduler with the test scheduler before each test scheduler expected to equal that, and then test scheduler run. Okay, so that needs to happen inside this. There you go. And then like so. Okay, and now we can declare our actions is equal to some hot, where we have some string. Let's say we're going for some time, and then we hit an event, and then we just keep going. And we're going to say this A is a login. I think we called it something like user submits. Let's see what, oops. Let's open up that actions. I think we called it auth actions. Submit login form. There we go. Submit login form. Let's import it specifically. Import submit login form from, this is just like up a level. Oh no, this is from the other lib. So this is in Zach front end auth NgRx utils, because that's where our action is. There we go. And so we're going to want to give it a username is test username. We're going to want to get a password is a test password. Boom. Yeah, let's like Lars pointed out, let's do this. So this is an observable of action. You want that kind of action. There we go. It'll give us better type safety there. Right. Component store. I don't know if that's shade or not, Brandon. Okay, but so now I've got my actions set up. So I can. So how do I get the do I have just like this? Do I just do it like this? Let effects, and that's just going to be, what did I call this? My auth effects. Is that how this is going to work? And then I'm going to it doesn't like that. What is it like that? Import auth effects from, yeah, and then here effects equals testbed.get. Is that how we do it? I'm blanking on this. Let's try it. So this is our actions, and so we're going to want to say, if I pull up the docs again here, we have our actions here. Really, I just want to run something like this. I want to expect observable to look like this. Oh, but we're also going to have to mock out the thing from the auth service. So let's do this. So here's our providers. We have the one to provide our mock actions. We're also going to provide our auth service. And we're just going to use value here. And so this is some objects. Let's open up our auth service over here. Service. For this one, well, actually, let's do this. We'll declare it up here. Let mock service equals, and so this is going to be login is a just mock, I think. No, that's not what I want. I want to do a need to add the effects providers array. Oh yeah. Good call. Auth effects. So okay. Yeah. Okay, that's looking good. That's looking better now. Let's actually just say this is. So this is a just login is going to be an what am I looking for here? It's not just.mock. It's like, how do you create the function from jest? I think it is like just.mock, right? Just.mock of something. I'm blanking on this. Really what I want here is I want to have like a service that just has some login. Expect observable from test scheduler. Yeah, no, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for a way to mock out what my service is going to be. So like this login right here, I want to mock out it returning something. I want to like be able to control how that works. Let me Google that real quick. So let's just say just create function, create mock function. That's what I'm looking for. Boom. Oh, just.fn. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Yeah, just.fn. Okay, so let's do it this way. I think we might have to do this a little bit different. But we'll say just function, and we'll say let's just say it's a function. And then log out is a just.function. Was there another one on this? Yeah, there's this one. Get access token. There's set. Oops. Set and remove. All right. So we've got our mock service here. We're going to say inside of our providers, use value. We'll call this mock auth service. Boom. And we'll use that here. So really what we're doing is rather than actually importing an auth service, we have this now, this mock. And then we're just going to get it and we're going to mock out what we want each of these methods to return inside of each one of our tests. So right here we have the actions. This is kind of the input. We're going to also want to take our mock actions, our mock auth service dot login dot and we're going to want to mock it. How do we do that? Mock return value. Let's do that. Mock return value so that it returns a cold of, so let's give it some time. Let's give it like 3 frames and then a B. And then we're going to say B is, so we need to, for this to be, look like this request body. Why is this still here? Okay, so we're going to need, oh, a username and password. Right, so, wait, that's not what we want. I don't want, yeah, I don't want the thing coming in, I want the thing coming out. All right, so let's go to this one. Whoops. So I want the login response body. We'll just say it looks like this, right? So B is this object that looks like this. So access token, we'll say, let's call this test access token, and user is going to be this object. What does user look like again? I think it just has like an ID and a name, yeah. So ID is a test ID and name is test name. There we go. There we go. Boom. Okay, so we have our auth service. Login is mocking out what it's going to return. So now I think all we need to do is we have to run test scheduler. Or does that come in here? Let me pull up the NgRx docs again. Test scheduler dot run with expect observable. Yeah, we need to destructure that out here too. And then we're going to say expect observable. And here we're going to say, well, let's call our result first. Our result is equal to, is that hot or cold? When we look at the expected, oh no, it's neither. Expect observable to be, so we just kind of put in the marble stream right here. So we take this amount of dots that we've got, whoops, boom, and we take this amount of dots, because the idea is we're going to wait this amount of time for the action to come through, and then we're going to wait this amount of time for the response to come back, and then we should have a C. And that C should look like the action that we expect to return from it. So this one is with a successful action that we should be seeing. So we're going to have login succeeded, and it's going to have the user, and it's just going to be the same user as up here. So let's do it this way. We're going to just copy this, const user equals that, Oops. It does look like something. I'm going to get rid of this now. So the user is still there, but it's referencing this, and I want this to just be the user. It doesn't like this. Is that just not imported? It doesn't like that. Did I do this wrong? Let's see. Take a look at the docs. Expect observable. Oh, yes. So this, we actually want to get our effects dot login dot to be. There we go. All right, that looks better. Here we go. So I think this is all set. So we have our test where we have the user submits the login and it works. Yeah, cool. So we have our test scheduler run. So this is all kind of happening in the context of that test scheduler running. So we're saying this actions, the incoming actions array is we're at this point here. At this point here, we're going to see a login form action being emitted from like our action stream. And we are going to mock out the auth service, so it's always going to return an observable that looks like this. It's going to wait 3 frames, and then on the 4th frame it's going to return this body. This body is kind of what's expected by the effect, and we should see that the result is this observable that is equal to the amount of time it took for the action to get dispatched plus this amount of time it took to come back. And at that point, we should see a login succeeded action. I think that sounds sane. Let's see if it works. So we're going to run, to test this, we're going to run npx, and well, let's use the console because the console's cool for this. We're going to test, not ete, I want to test the auth, front end auth, boom, and I'm going to hit run. Let's see what this has. I think there's probably some other spec files in here. The other spec files might fail. Let's see what happens. Boom. So our effect worked, our component didn't. Let's take a look at that real quick. Let me just grab this because I much prefer doing it this way. So I'm going to make a new terminal. So I just grabbed the output there from the NX console. That's one thing I really like it for. It gives you this nice form, but then at the end of the day, it just gives you this nice copy and pastable command we can run. So we're going to run this, and I'm actually going to put a watch option on there so we can just like see the things auto refresh. And so yeah, let's go to our component here. I'm just going to kind of clobber this stuff because this is always weird to me that this is kind of what happens. Let's just do like this. Oh, that didn't work. It's because I don't have NX installed globally. Eventually I got to do that. It's just effect true to be truthy for now. But you'll see as I was hitting save there, just kind of auto reran. And there you go. We're passing. We did it. Or use X subset. Yeah, that's probably smarter. Let's do that. Lars, so much wiser than I. Well, actually, this will probably fail, right? This will have like a failure. Oh no, it'll just skip it. I expected it to fail because it didn't have any tests. But yeah, cool. Yep. So as Lars is saying in chat, you could put the X, so you could do it at any level, right? Like you put an X in front of the describe or in front of this test. And if you have the X, it's like inside of this scope, don't run this test. If you have it at the top level, it's like don't run anything inside of it. But the opposite is the F, which is like force, I guess. It's just going to say only run this one. Only one runs with a force. Same at the top level. But yeah, we'll put that X describe in there for now. Okay, but yeah, so now we have our effect. Let's just, we're way over time already. We're 11 minutes over time. But I want to do, let's just make another test real quick because this is pretty easy now that we've got the one. I'm going to copy paste all over. X is exclude. Oh, it's focused. I thought it was forced. Cool. I learned something new. It's focused and exclude. Lars, you're teaching me every day. All right, so we're going to say this one's called user submits login and the login fails, right? So we're going to say this should all look the same, like the action coming through could look just like this. Only the thing we're going to want to change in this one is the thing being returned from our login. So let's look at our login auth service. Instead, so rather than sending back one of our successful request bodies, let's just do an error one here, right? So we'll put this in here, paste error, reason, we'll just say you suck. That's why you got denied. So then here we should see this one fail. Yes, we see it fail for good reason. We expected to see a login succeeded action. That's what we were saying down here, but instead we got a login failed one. So here we'll just say login failed instead. I think that just comes in. It doesn't really take any props right now. So now when we save this, we should see this succeed again. So we're saying by, we could get rid of this line. Let's do that real quick. Oh, did that rerun? Watch. Let's just hit A to just run them all again. I'm actually surprised. There you go, they all succeeded. If I hit A again, okay. I almost expected the distributed cache to step in there and do it when I hit A. But I didn't see that. But anyways, we can see now we have the good way with where it works. We have the unhappy path where the login fails. We can actually let's do this. So we can see here in this successful one, if we look at our effects, there's actually this other, like if we look at this, or am I getting ahead of myself? Yeah, we kind of are. So eventually we'd want to test this one. I'm going to say this for another day because we're like 15 minutes over, because we also want to test like the logout one and this one. But the really cool part about this is like we're testing 2 dimensions right now. And that's what I really like about the test scheduler. Like we're passing in this marble diagram that says not only this is the action that comes through, but also this is when that action comes through. Like it's very set when that happens. And also this is when that response is going to come back. It's going to wait 3 frames exactly. So if I switch this up a little bit to remove some of the frames, we should see this fail now, where like my action coming through is actually the one we expect, but it's not coming back when we expect it to. It's actually not super helpful here in this example, but in other examples where we're doing a lot of stuff where we're switching or merging or mapping, or if we're delaying or something like that, that can be very helpful. And another thing that's really cool about the test scheduler is we can do some crazy stuff, like say this should take 50 seconds and then an A should come through. And then this should take, I don't know, this should take like 300 milliseconds, and then we should see a B. So this is kind of like the same syntax as before there. And then for our expected, we can say, well, this should take 50 seconds and then 300 milliseconds. And then we should see the C. And if we run this, it won't take 50 seconds, which is kind of cool. But it's still passed. So really neat. If you ever need to test something that should take a long time, that's kind of cool. I've actually used that before when we were trying to make sure that there's like one weird use case where we didn't want to see more than one action of the same kind, like we're debouncing it for 5 seconds. It's super helpful for that kind of stuff. And I think a lot of people don't know that you can also use this kind of syntax for the marbles tests. So cool little snippets, cool little things to think about. But we did it, folks. We got some testing in here. I think, like I said, I much prefer the end-to-end testing, because at some point it seems like right now we're just testing the way things are for effects. I can't imagine a change that's going to affect login in any way where this test would still stand up. You know, like I imagine, so at some point down the line I want to make sure like logins, we're cleaning a lot of the security vulnerabilities here. So like maybe using nonce based, like a nonce based flow. So user tries to log in, we send out a request to the server, it sends back just like a garbage string, almost like a one-time use string to hash our password with. Then we immediately hash the user's password with that and then send it across the line back to the server. Like that's going to significantly change how all this works. There's no way this test is going to hold up once all those changes are in place. But the end-to-end test one, I think the way we did it, the way we have it set up, I kind of expect that one to still hold up. So, and really like if we think about it, that feature of adding nonce-based authentication, I don't know if that's even the right term, nonce-based, but we'll just pretend it is. That's kind of like it's something that the user's not going to care about. Why? We just want to make sure it still works when the user does something. And the test plan we described in our like end-to-end test file up here. Like this is a test plan that I think would hold true even if there was some if we're making some change underneath to how the mechanisms work. This all should still work pretty much. So that's my spiel. I don't want to knock too hard the unit test. This is still definitely valuable, especially when learning RxJS. Marble diagrams are super valuable for being able to make sure things are working exactly as you think they are. So yeah, that's my spiel. Thanks everyone for checking us out. Have a good weekend, y'all. Stay safe. Be safe from the pandemic, I hope. And I'll see y'all next week. Bye now.